Hello friends, it's Alex coming to you from Bali, and just wanted to do a video showing you what's going on at the beaches here in Uluwatu. It's low tide at the moment, so you can see all the rocks and the reef exposed. Pretty cool sight. The only problem is if you want to go swimming, you have to swim out a bit further. Great for surfing because you can see all the surfers right out there, so yeah. Anyway, it doesn't work out for me. I'll have to just keep going further until I can make it to the actual place where there's a bit of more water, a lot more deeper places where I can swim. So anyway, just wanted to share my thoughts and ideas about, I've been in Bali now for over 3 months, and if it wasn't for the mainstream media news and essentially just seeing lack of tourists here, I would not even be able to tell that anything happened in this world, like anything wrong happened as far as this whole scamdemic, plandemic, whatever you want to call it, with the COVID thing. Because people here, toilet paper has always been available, even though they don't really, they don't really use toilet paper much here because there's bomb guns, so you only need a little bit of it. Food supply has been pretty constant, there's no dwindling. Most people in Bali have their own little farms, so they don't really care if the supermarket is not stocking up on food. The supermarkets are primarily for the actual tourists who visit and live in Bali, but the local Balinese, they can, and other Indonesian people, they can literally just survive off the land. They can go into their yard and pick some papaya, pick some other vegetables and fruit. They always have chickens, they always have pig, pork, whatnot. There's always food available here. So the people who are going to feel and are already feeling the major pinch are the ones who are living in capital cities. So if you're one of those people and you've been always considering moving out somewhere to the mountains, to some other country where there's less government and more freedom, then now is a great time to do it. If you got some savings and if you're working for yourself online, and you got nothing stopping you. Like I said, you couldn't even tell that there's anything wrong with the world by looking at this picture around me right now. How awesome it is. So, in a way, for me being here, kind of quote unquote stuck in Bali for the last 3 months, has pretty much been a blessing, because I would have absolutely hated being stuck in Melbourne, where after the first 2 weeks they ran out of toilet paper. Now can you imagine what's gonna happen when they tighten up the bolts with the second wave that supposedly is being orchestrated by the globalists? So it's mind-boggling. I definitely don't want to be in a large city somewhere in the west, or even other cities around the third world countries. I'm pretty sure Bangkok suffered quite a bit as well, but don't think they ran out of toilet paper. So that's how it is. Yeah. So if you always wanted to move somewhere where you've never been, as soon as the airports open up and you got nothing to leave behind, I'd consider making that move, but obviously it's all up to you. Look at these awesome villas here that you can rent. Something like maybe about 350 US dollars a month. You can rent these villas here right on the actual beach, waking up every morning to this. How cool is that? So this is Bali living, so to speak. Now, Bali is not my favorite place in the world as such. I used to be in love with Thailand for a long time until things changed. about 4 years ago, and since then, I don't know, they just haven't been as welcoming to tourists as before. They jacked up their prices, and you just get the impression that they're not welcoming a lot of European tourists there. But here it's always been great. And the other place which is cool is Vietnam. It's also one of my favorite places to visit because the people there are very, very friendly. They actually embrace the foreign culture. So if you're a foreigner and you got some money to spend, then they will definitely go out of their way to please you and make everything comfortable for your stay. The prices there are much cheaper than Thailand, and because I know how to speak Russian, a lot of Vietnamese people can speak Russian as well. Not that I need to talk Russian to them because I speak fluent English, but yeah, it just shows you that there are many options. Certainly if you're a Russian speaker and you don't really speak English much, it's a good opportunity for you to take advantage of that. And I've only been to 2 different places in Vietnam. The first one being Ho Chi Minh City. I stayed there for literally about 4 days because it was just a bit too chaotic for me, too busy, too loud, too dusty. But then I made the trip to Nha Trang, and that was one of my favorite places. It's got the beach, it's got really great restaurants, bars, clubs, whatever you want. It's essentially like the Florida or Miami of US, but without the massive price tag, or like the Gold Coast of Australia. That's a good way to actually compare it. So yeah, you can see heaps of people out and about, probably collecting things. Yeah, a lot of, I think, Balinese people are collecting those seafoody things, the clams and shells, to make food. So it's a good adventure for them and outing because obviously of the low tide. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you all. I still think Southeast Asia is one of the better places to go to, especially in current times, and Eastern Europe. Not so much Russia, because Russia is governed by a corrupt Putin regime, and I'm not a very big fan of him. In fact, yeah. But it's good to visit, as long as you keep out of their monetary system. You are not in their politics, and you basically don't get involved with their political system, and you can have your own, you know, external bank account where you're not actually dependent on a Russian system. Then you'll be fine. I mean, I was there last year, from those who know, for about 3 months, and I had a good time. I was traveling around Eastern Europe, so I spent time in Russia, in Belarus, in Ukraine, and yeah, I had a really good time. I could definitely live in either Belarus or Ukraine during summer months. I'm not too sure about winter, because winter gets a little bit too cold up there, so yeah. But that's how it is, guys. Check out this view, really, really cool. Anyway, over and out.
Drop the bass, Kitty.
And if you want to protect your online privacy and help my channel out at the same time, visit drivenanddesign.com/NordVPN.
It's restorative, causing a heightened energy. It's excellent for diet because it suppresses hunger. It helps your digestive tract. It's anti-diuretic. It acts against fatigue, and most importantly, it acts against altitude sickness.